I'm going to say loudly words, talking, microphone, loud noises, emotional dialogue. Testing 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. This is Scotty LP on the line. Live and direct. Live and direct. And we're here, and we're going to continue to test. I'm going to back away from the mic just a little bit, just in case you get some close talkers, maybe some back talkers. I don't know, not so close talkers. Try not to hit your head on the TV here, everyone. When Larry did that about 10 minutes ago. So you're going to want to be careful of the edge of the TV. You don't want to pull a Larry. Beyond that, we're here to celebrate the life of Tara Talboys. And we're hoping that everything is working well on the live stream and the audio is pretty good.
I remember a time not so long ago when I could drive down the highway of life and not be passed by some crazed lunatic of today's youth.
Should we change the angle
Of what?
of the camera?
Well, I'm trying to get that too.
You're essentially, I'm seeing, right?
But you're also seeing the urn and the flowers. Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to get everything in.
Maybe we zoom out just a skosh.
I'm out as far as I can go.
Okay, as far as you go. Okay.
Well, let me see. All right, let me show you up there.
Okay. All right. I'll switch it.
But the audio sounds good, right?
Yeah, dude, sounds great, dude. It's money. It just seemed really on this side here, right? So the camera stops right about here, and it cuts off a little bit here. So maybe just kind of frame it a little bit easier. Maybe we get a little bit more on this side, and a little bit more ceiling. Test 1, 2, 3, 4.
That was really, really hot coming in.
That window's too hot? Or the door, you mean?
Because if I adjust my iris out.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Come here. See how that.
all right.
Take a look at that framing. How's that?
Live stream. Okay, yeah. Now we're talking.
All right, we're taking all bets on Lightning to win, Posa to place. Yeah, that's good. All right, so if you're talking at normal voice so everyone can hear you here, everyone can hear you on the live stream. All right, so I'm going to leave that going. I'm going to leave the live stream going. I'm just going to turn the audio gear off until we're ready to go.
Yeah, and they let me in the car, and Rob would bring me petrol in the car, and then leave me again. I lived here for another hour. Meanwhile, I had to go to the bathroom.
I think I just ran from the car because I couldn't stop shivering.
And she got sicker, she got cold faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, we were
Oh,
wearing
look at her.
big sweaters in the house.
And some of the recent, more summer vacations, she had her hat on.
There it is. But me and Darwin were little.
Oh, on the side, I missed that. I've seen so many pictures of those airplanes.
Oh, turn out.
I think it was so nice and fit in.
That's all me.
Right. I'm sure she had other things too. Oh, yeah, you said that. You don't know that.
Baby you. Look, yours right there. Take your first picture. Opening the mail. That's our baptism. I don't think you remember that one. She was wrapped.
family and friends, we will begin the memorial service shortly. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to prepare something, but it was just too difficult to write. So I'm going to do the best that I can with what I've got. First off, I want to thank everybody for coming. Tara loved every one of you so much. A little bit about the person that I married is my lover, my wife, my partner, my friend. She was a beautiful person who loved animals, really loved animals. And I fell in love with that person. I miss that person. I just want her to not suffer anymore and to be in a better place. And she is so proud of her kids, where she was. Those goddamn sicknesses taking shit away from her. If there was anything that I could have changed over the years, that would have been it. Just not the disease. I wouldn't want that for anybody. Everybody in this place knows normally I'm not a person who's at a loss for words. I just can't believe it happened. I mean, I know it was eventually going to happen, but I just didn't think it was going to be at this time. She was a beautiful person. A lover of music. Definitely, like I said earlier, animals. Heck, she used to even feed the chipmunks and everything else in the back of our house. Yeah, she had names for each individual one. The birds. We had an entire ecosystem that depended on us in the backyard. That is going to suffer greatly. I'm sorry, everyone. But yeah, again, I just want to thank everyone for being here. If anybody else wants to say anything or anything else like that, you're more than welcome to. Again, thank you.
Hi, everybody. Let me just pull it out. I'm having a little trouble finding it. It'll come. Again, thank you everybody for coming. And every plant I water, I will see her face. Every butterfly I see, I know that she's free. And every cardinal I see, I know she's stopping in to tell me she's okay. I will miss her every day for the rest of my life. We did so much together. We did so many things together. We were even pregnant together. And she had to beat me in that too. She had to beat me in everything. Like everything was a contest, even though she was 3 years younger. I think she even drove at the same time I did. She sold a car during the summer when I was babysitting, and she was so sneaky. She was my best friend, my first best friend. I was just telling Maddie about the concert that me and Tara and Parag went to a long time ago, the Bon Jovi concert. And it was just so much fun. And we were freezing. And so we both bought these long sleeve shirts that were like $40 each. And I still have that shirt, and I'll never get rid of it. And because we were so short, we couldn't see anything. So we stood on top of the chairs. And Parag made sure that we didn't fall over. She was at my wedding. She was my maid of honor. I was at her wedding. She will never be forgotten. I have known her 48 years, and I needed it to be longer. Our first children were born in the same week. We went and got belly piercings together. And we were so shocked from it, we almost both fell over, and then Rob had to go get us drinks to get her sugar up. We went to Disney World together, and she made me get on Thunder Mountain. She made me do it, and I hate roller coasters, but I did it anyway. And she was always by my side. She was always there. My heart is broken. It's like my other half of my heart. Tara, I miss you and I love you. And come visit.
Oh, I'm short. Well, 4'10", what can you expect? Used to be 5 feet. Well, I'm just going to talk a few minutes about Tara from a mother's viewpoint. Tara was born on April 3rd, 1976, like you all know, but at exactly 1 a.m. in the morning. Not a minute before, not a minute after. She was 1 week late because she didn't want to be born on her sister's birthday. She wanted her birthday all to herself, which she got. In elementary school, she got her usual straight A's, and since she thought she could do everything herself, she did the class yearbook by herself. It was a beautiful book. She had a very strong spirit. We moved to Florida when she was 19. Soon after, she met Rob. The best choice she ever made in her life. He was great. When we were first introduced, he was a surfer boy, which we never met in Florida. We didn't know how any of that went. He had long, beautiful braided hair, a great tan, muscular body, and we loved him right away. He was like, this is how it was in the beginning when, Teenageville and all. Whoa. And they stayed together the whole time. We were so surprised she met you so early in her life, and you were it. She never changed. During her lifetime, she was prone to autoimmune diseases, but she didn't let that stop her from working and enjoying her family. Her favorite holiday, of course, was always Christmas. She started decorating weeks and weeks in advance, as you guys know. And she never changed. Weeks in advance. Everything had to be perfect. Except when the animals tried to climb the tree and your trees got crooked a lot, Besides that, Christmas was hers. She loved it. Unfortunately, this last Christmas she missed. She decorated for weeks, and then she wasn't well. She missed Christmas. And she certainly let me know because it was her absolute favorite. She picked the tree she wanted. She was just very happy with everything. She wished that she was healthier so she could spend more time with her family, Rob, Zach, Maddie, but she couldn't. And goodbye, Tara. I'll love you forever. That's it.
Honestly, I'm not sure this mic is working because everyone that's come up here so far, the mic has not worked for them. So I'm just going to try to talk a little loud so that everyone in the back can hear. Testing. Yeah, no, not getting anything. I wanted to thank everyone for being here. I know a lot of you have traveled a long way just to be here, and it means the world to see everyone's support. My mom was a complicated individual with a beautiful soul, and I hope that in coming together on this day, we can celebrate that beautiful soul. Funnily enough, I actually struggled to find the time to write out the words that I was going to say. This was actually typed up a few hours before the service. At least it's better than my dad, though, who said he was full-on winging it. So, in all honesty, I was rather avoiding the subject more than anything. But I knew I would regret it if I didn't speak at my mother's funeral. My main goal in speaking here today is to share with everyone how hard she truly tried. My mother was battling with many diseases and had most recently been diagnosed with kidney disease. On top of that, she had MS as well as diabetes. Whenever I would help her with her routine, I would stare at that lazy Susan she had full of pills
and towards the end of her life, she was strapped up to a breathing tube in which she still claimed she would struggle to breathe. Nobody should have to live with that amount of pain and discomfort for as long as she had. Many may know her as a smoker, as well as someone who has fought an intense battle with mental illness. Many may have thought of her methods of living were self-destructive, but the same people don't truly realize how hard addiction can be to beat, and when life is constantly beating you down and telling you that your efforts are not enough, then why would you try? Despite this, she still would schedule her doctor's visits and stated that she wanted to see her grandchildren one day. She always was on board with everything the doctors recommended and truly cared about carrying on despite the hard ball that life had thrown her. Oftentimes I would find her crying due to the condition she was in. It is hard to see your parent cry, and it is even harder when both of you realize that they don't have much longer. Despite this, she always knew how to brighten up my day, whether that be a game of Scrabble or by watching a soccer game with me and constantly asking which team we were rooting for. While she was not perfect in her methods, she never fully gave up on herself. She knew if she had nobody else, that at least I would be in her corner to support her, and I hope that she knows that even after she has passed. She truly tried, and I want everyone in this room who has ever had a doubt in their mind for that doubt to instead be replaced with love for that beautiful soul that had been covered up. She truly was a wonderful woman, and every day I miss the person I would talk soccer to, even though she has absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. The person I would bring home little gifts to that always had the utmost appreciation for. The person I was always so excited to tell about the newest chapter of my life. I wanted her to see me graduate, to see me at my first real job, to potentially see her grandchildren. I know wherever she might be, she is watching over me. I wanted to keep this relatively short, as I knew if I said everything I loved about my mother, I would be up here for several hours. I just wanted to share with everyone how hard she truly tried, and how much she meant to me, and how much all of you meant to her. Before I wrap everything up, I just wanted to add a segment about my father. I know it's not traditional for a funeral to talk about another person, but he was my mother's primary caretaker and took on the full-time job of a nurse alongside providing for the family. I am incredibly proud of him, and I'm lucky to be able to call him my dad. He was there for my mother, even when she wasn't there for herself. If there is anything I can say to you all today, it is that you truly never know how long you have with those you love. Cherish that time. Everyone deserves to be able to lean on someone you love. I now have everyone in this room to lean on because I love every single one of you. I truly thank you for coming out today to celebrate my mother's life. She would have loved to see how many people came out to show their support. I love you more, Mom.
First, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's here. And I want to say that I went down the same route as my dad, that I couldn't really take the time to write my feelings down, and it would hurt but I just wanted to say that my mother was one of the most hospitable people that I knew. Every time there'd be somebody that came over, a new friend, you know, anybody like that, the first thing she'd do is hug them and tell them that they're always welcome in her house. And you know, a lot of my friends really loved my mom, you know. They appreciated that they got to see her every time they came over, and you know, even though she couldn't do a lot, when people would come to the house, I think that made her really happy. When me and my friends would come over and do anything, just watch a movie, maybe eat, it didn't matter. I think it made her very happy to have people in her house. I think she really enjoyed, you know, Christmas and holidays like that. Birthdays, because, you know, she could really make people happy. During Christmas, she always had a new stocking to give a new friend, or a new ornament, or a new stocking for a new pet. Yeah, she really loved our animals too. She was just so sweet to them, and you know, that's how you know somebody's a good soul, is that they love their animals and they love the people that come into their life. And she was really, you know, towards the end of her life, she was much calmer. You know, I think she had accepted that sometimes she couldn't do everything she wanted, and I think that was hard, but I think towards the end of her life, I think she was happy, and I think that, you know, she was supposed to go on at-home dialysis, and I think it would have made her sad, because she wouldn't have been able to have the animals in the room with her, and, you know, she loved those animals with her whole heart, and, you know, they were with her to the end. And I loved my mom, and I still love her. And before, when I was getting ready, I heard the wind chimes in the backyard, and it made me think about her. And it made me think about when I would be getting ready to go somewhere, or me and my friends would be getting ready, and she would talk to us and tell us how pretty we looked, and everything. And that's what it made me think of. It felt like she was talking to me. And I love all of you that are here today. And I wanted to say thank you for everybody that came, and everybody that I know is watching through a live link. Thank you so much.
Well, unlike my brother and my niece, I did prepare. And and a lot of what I have to say is kind of what they had to say. So I am Tara's sister-in-law, Rob's sister, and I also want to thank you all for coming here today to honor Tara, Michelle, Van Gilder Talboys, and to offer support for their beautiful family. This is not written. Where did you two come from? You grew up in front of my eyes. Were they not amazing in their ability to speak here today? Thank you. Who's ever clapping, thank you. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I had these two, I know them since they're born, obviously.
Good practice for my class next semester. I got public speaking.
Public speaking. Good job. Well, if you Talboys, you can talk. Right, George? I know them since they were very little. They stayed at Camp Aunt Jan for a couple weeks while Rob and Tara were looking for their house here. We had a lot of fun. Hip Hop Harry has never gone away. Anyway, Tara was taken from us way too young, and we all know that. But I think it's already been said, she has no more pain, and she had a lot of pain. She has no more difficulty walking or breathing. She's in a great place. And I believe, my faith tells me, that she was met at heaven's door by an entourage of angels that passed before her, including my own parents, who loved and adored their daughter-in-law. And I know that they are holding her in their arms. I know they are. And of course, everybody has said when you think of Tara, you think of animals and her great love for animals. But not just, as you heard, not just typical pets. And there were a lot of cats and dogs at your house. The biggest cat I've ever seen in my life lives at your house. But she also loved the animals, like Rob said, that visited the yard. The chipmunks, the squirrels, the cardinals. She and I shared my mom and dad as cardinals visiting us. You know the saying of cardinals. When a cardinal visits you, it's someone from who's passed on. So I expect you to have more cardinals in your yard. And she even had one named Templeton. Do you remember Templeton? Yeah. Templeton is the name of a rat from Charlotte's Web. And so she named him Templeton. And she had a rooster. Hen? Rooster? Which was it? A rooster for a long time, too. And they finally took it to a farm and gave it a home. But that rooster followed her all around, didn't it? Yeah, and didn't know it was a rooster until it started doing you-know-what early in the morning. So that's when the rooster got a new home. But I have to tell you that Tara and I talked often. And when I moved to my new home in Oklahoma, and I've told some of my family this story already, I was telling Tara that I walked out in the garage and there was a little gray mouse. And I screamed like crazy. I'm a New Yorker by birth, so mice in where I live, not part of it, screamed, the mouse shook and ran away. And she said, "You mean you didn't catch it? You mean you didn't feed it?" You know, she said, what are you doing? I said, "No, I called the exterminator." And she was very angry with me. But I really don't know anyone who loves animals more, except maybe you. Except maybe you, Maddie. And you know what? The greatest source of her pride, as was said by several of us, is you, Zach and Maddie. She loved you, and I see, and I bet others see, how your mom lives on through you and through your best qualities. She does. And we need to keep talking about her and noticing those things, and that's how don't be afraid to talk about her. You can always call me. I'll talk with you, cry with you. You can always call me. But the best parts of her are in you. She was a daughter, sister, wife, mother, aunt. She loved her nieces. She loved you two girls so much. I didn't have a conversation with her that you two were not part of. She was an artist. I have a picture still in my house that she drew one Christmas. Christmas was tight, but she drew me this beautiful little picture, pencil drawing, and she's quite talented. She was a mathematician. Somebody got their math skills from Mom. Somebody got their organizational skills from Mom. Yeah, she was a pianist, and she was small in stature, like her mom and her sister, but big on opinions, and big on her ideas, and big on her love for her family underneath it all. Max Lucado is a well-known Christian author, and he says something in one of his books that's very simple, seems to make a lot of sense, but we don't think about. He says, "Death is easy for the person who passes. They are gone, and if you believe, to a better place, without pain, and seeing everybody they want to see." I like to believe that. But it's hardest, oh so hard, for all of us who stay behind and have to grieve her and grieve the loss. And I am so, so sorry for this loss. Again, way too soon. We don't get over the passing of a loved one. We never do. But we walk through it, and with our grief, it becomes part of who we are, becomes the fabric of who we are and our life story. And this becomes part of your life story. And how you go through it is how you honor your mother, how you honor your wife, how you honor your sister, your daughter, your aunt, your friend. She is at peace, and she would want her friends and loved ones to become better and stronger because of her passing, not sad. It is just how we honor her. And right after she passed away, I was online, like everybody is, and found this poem, of all things, by Margaret Mead, who was a naturalist and all of that. It says, "To the living I am gone, to the sorrowful I will never return, but to the happy I am at peace, and to the faithful I have never fully left. I cannot speak, but I can listen. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So as you stand upon a shore, gazing at the beautiful sea, as you look upon a flower and admire its simplicity, remember me. Remember me in your heart. Remember me in your heart, your thoughts and your memories of the times we loved, of the times we cried, of the times we fought, and the times we laughed. For if you always think of me, I will never have been gone." I love you all.
Ow. For my next comedy trick. I'm Jed. Rob and I have been friends since we're 13. Some of you know me, some of you don't. So, yeah, we've been thick as thieves since we're 13. And he's living in an apartment with a few other friends. And, you know, we don't see much of Rob anymore. He's sort of locked in a room. Where's Rob? He's girlfriend. But I've never seen Rob locked in a room, or never not seen Rob. This was the first time. You know, eventually they had to come out for oxygen, so I met her, and we understood each other immediately. And we've been friends since, and years later, and, you know, before you existed, you know, I needed a place to stay, you know, and I asked Tara and I asked Rob. She said, "Of course," you know. She was a very good friend to me. We deeply understood each other. We understood each other's sadness. We somewhat understood each other's pain. And, you know, so fast forward a few years and, you know, my son David shows up in the world. Day 2, she's there. Up until the last year, every Christmas, whether we're living in this state or there, wherever, she's always would think of him. She would always, you know, and I loved her for that. You know, you guys are family to me. You're gonna be fucking fine. You're doing great. I miss her.
I, like other ones here, couldn't prepare anything either. I've been for a few weeks, have a pen and paper in front of me, and I honestly, I had told Maddie coming in, I probably knew Tara a shorter time than many people, probably most people in this room. But believe me, I probably heard about all of you in this room and our many neighborly driveway conversations that I had being her neighbor. She by far was the best neighbor I've had. She was so caring to my family, loved my grandkids, loved my dogs, which thank God, because my dogs were, I was so happy I had an animal lover next to me, let's just say that. And yes, and I know, her kids, oh my gosh, the hours I spent hearing her talk about her kids. She adored them, so proud. And she was so kind to my grandkids, very kind. Loved watching Christian play out on the back deck. Loved my daily stories. Christian was so funny, and loved those stories about him. But I am so happy, and I've seen here in these pictures, I am so happy we found Tony in our garage. And it was 5 years ago last week. My grandson was getting ready to graduate, very busy. And my husband came up into the kitchen and said, there's a chicken in our garage. I go, what do you mean there's a chicken in our garage? And sure enough, I go, and there's a little chicken. Well, I mean, if it was up to my husband and Kevin, that chicken would have been gone. And I'm like, no, we can't do that. And Garrett, my grandson Garrett, loved Tara too, because he was an animal lover. And so right away, he's trying to build things. And I said, wait a minute, and I called Tara, and of course she found me, I think a cat carrier or something to put the chicken in. And then after like that long day with this chicken, and we were busy, she finally offered to take Tony off. Well, I didn't name, she named Tony. And yes, and so Tony, Tara loved Tony. And I can remember you visiting, her mom visiting, and she was like, oh, things all over the house. And she wasn't real. I think that was the problem. Yes, that was the problem. But I just wanted to let you guys know that, honestly, she was just one of my all-time favorite neighbors. I loved talking to her all the time and spending time with her and listening to stories about all the relatives in New Jersey and everywhere, and she was a great neighbor. Thank you. I miss her also, and I know you guys.
Hey everyone. Sorry, I also don't have anything prepared. I didn't really think I was going to want to say anything, but I do. My aunt was a huge part of my life for most of it. She's been around me since I was born. She's part of who I am. She's helped me grow. She's such a big part of who I am now. I got my love for animals, and some of the best parts of my childhood were with her. We didn't have the closest relationship towards the end, and that's always going to be something I regret. But the thing that matters to me the most is that I just want her to know that I love her, and that never changed. And I'm glad that I got to have her in my life. And I'm grateful for her helping to make me who I am now. I wish I had gotten a chance to show her more. It's kind of crazy. I remember talking to my friend about reaching back out to her a couple days before she passed. I was like, I haven't talked to my aunt in a while, and I feel like I should. It was literally like Sunday, because I just wanted to kind of get the chance to clear things up, and I was like, oh, I have some stuff to do, I'll talk to her when I get some of this stuff cleared up. But by then she was gone. But I know that she knows that I love her, and that's all that.
She loved you very much.
That's all that really matters to me.
She loved you more than you know.
That's all that matters. And I'm sorry for everyone's loss. I know everyone's experiencing a loss today. And I just want you guys especially to know that I'm here for you, and I love you guys so much. And thank you for sharing her with me. And I love everyone. Thank you.
A lot of you guys probably don't know me. I consider myself probably Zach's my best friends. Probably, if not the best friend that I have, besides from these two lovely gentlemen in the back. And I've known Zach for as long as I've been alive, and as long as I can remember Zach, I can remember Miss Tara too. And whenever I think about Miss Tara, I think about her as a person that always invited me into her home, like Maddie said, and that she would always make me feel like the most welcome person in the world, even at the very end, like the last month over the winter time when I saw her last, probably because I was at school. And I just kind of wanted to tell a story. When I was younger, the Miss Tara's coffee machine broke, and she loved her coffee every day. And so I was like, well, we can't have that. So I remember going to Best Buy, and with my allowance or whatever, I bought her this new coffee machine. I don't even know if you guys still have it anymore. But I remember walking up the door, I was the happiest I could ever be. And she gave me the biggest hug. And she started crying, and she gave me a hug, and she said it was one of the nicest things someone had ever done for her. And I just remember her, every time I'd come in the house, she would mention it. And I hope that she, thought of all of us and how much we cared for her every day when she would drink that cup of coffee. And I try to just want to reiterate that the Talboys family has been such a supportive and such a great friendship. Mr. Rob has been an extremely good role model. To reiterate, Maddie and what Zach have said, he's probably one of the strongest men I've met in terms of being able to deal with all the heartbreak in this situation and dealing with the secondhand illness, which is a true thing. When you see your lover and you see your best friend go through this type of pain, it's almost like you feel it yourself. So I just want to offer my support and condolences, especially to Maddie and Zach as well. And I'll always be here for you, buddy. And you just call me, all right? Text me. I'll drive down. I'll fly down. Whatever you need. Yeah, I just feel like I had to say something, because if I didn't, I feel like I would regret it. So, love you guys.
So I just wanted to come up here. It's actually very spontaneous, actually. Didn't really write anything, but I've known Maddie since 2021, I think. Maddie's been my best friend through thick and thin, and I remember the first day I came into their house, Mrs. C hugged me, and she was like, I can tell you're gonna be a really good friend to Maddie. And every time I came over, she would tell me she loved me. And I did not have the best relationship with my parents always. So she was kind of like a second mother to me. She would always tell me she was proud of me. And I just wanted to say that she was very loved. And I remember I also loved animals too. I also love animals. And every time I would come over with Baby, my cat, she would always just jump up with joy. Well, not really jump up, but she loved Baby. She made me send photos of my cat to her, and she put it as her wallpaper for her phone. She loved that cat. Whenever I needed somewhere to stay, she was always very opening, very comforting. Mr. T was like a second father to me, and Zach was like a brother to me. Maddie was like a sister to me, and she was just always there, and I just wanted to tell everyone that I loved her.
I didn't really think that I could say anything, but I thought that I might, because I've known Mrs. T or Mrs. Cowboys from when I was younger, since I was about, I think, 4. And she, when I was a kid, was like a second mother to me. She would always, I remember she would always do stuff with us that my mom would never let us do. Like, she would let me stay up late, and I remember one time, I think I was 10, and it was like this crazy thing, and we stayed up, I stayed up with Maddie, and she made brownies with us at like 10 p.m., and I was like, whoa. And I also remember another time my parents had to, I think it was like their anniversary, so I stayed at your house, and she stayed up with me because I couldn't sleep, and it was like 3 a.m., and I was like crying and super upset and distraught, and she just stayed with me the whole night. And I just wanted to say that that I loved her, and I might not have talked to her as much recently, but I just remember how much she loved me, and every time she saw me, she would always give me a big hug and ask me how I was doing. And I remember when I was a kid, I would always make her drawings, and she'd hang up on the wall with Maddie's drawings. And I wanted to say that I'm always here for you guys.
You were in the slideshow, you There you go, right there.
I know, I'm taller
I
than
don't want to do that one again. So, how me and Tara met, I was the girl who named Hoop Pearson. Our girls went to pre-K together, and when she invited Hope to a birthday party, she was asking me, why would you name your daughter Hoop? Like, no, it's not Hoop, it's Hope. Ever since then, we decided to be best of friends and grow our kids together and always be there for each other, regardless, and help each other through fights and or help together. But anyways, I am here for you guys. If you have advice.
Hi, everyone. I am the neighbor on the other side. I'm Candace. I had to come say something. Tara and I shared a lot as neighbors. One of the things that we used to do all the time was call each other whenever there was something interesting with the animal drama going on in the backyard. Did you see the hawk, swirl down and get the chipmunk, or there's a rabbit back there. Oh, there are a bunch of deer in the backyard. Oh, they just jumped from yours to mine. So, yeah, we used to communicate that way about the animals, so I really loved her for that. She also knew so much about animals that she would help us with our dog. She would come over and give us advice about our dog Oscar. She loved him, and we would watch the animals sometimes. Just shared so many really wonderful moments with her. One of the things that she did that just always sticks out is that she would make sure that we would have the reindeer food every Christmas, so that we can make sure that the reindeer come in can see. Yeah, yeah. So it was just so fun. I know that our kids look forward to getting that, because Christmas wasn't Christmas without the reindeer food, and she really, really. And
glitter is the herpes of arts and crafts. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, it is.
You will find it years later.
I think we have remnants of the reindeer food from previous year. But yeah, and Christmas Tara made Christmas, even for our home. She was like a second mom to our kids. She always made sure that that she did something special for everyone. She was very loving and giving. She would be the mayor of our block if we had to name one, because she just would be so welcoming to everyone in the neighborhood. And, there have been lots of neighbors, and, she's just the go-to person that would welcome everyone. And she made the neighborhood and the block what it was. One other thing I wanted to share, just a memory that stands out, is when Maddie and Tara and I went to see Les Mis together. Tara loved the arts, and she was like, when Les Mis comes into town, we have to go. So she stayed on top of when it came, and it was so funny because like the very next year it came, she was like, okay, we're going. I'm getting the tickets and we're going. So it was just a great outing that night. It was just such a beautiful day. It was a great moment, and I just loved talking to her about these types of things, and the list goes on and on. I absolutely adore Zach and Maddie. They're like second kids to me, and I just love you guys. Yeah, my son feels the same way. I know that he spends most of his time, spare time at your house. Even he went to college, comes back, and he's going over there to spend time with you guys. So just love Tara so much and love you guys. And yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna piggyback on my neighbor. We moved here 3 years ago to your house, and she was the very first person in coming out and saying hi to me that very day that I got in my new house. My husband was already there, and I went to the yard, and she was in her backyard, and she immediately she said, "Hello, I'm your neighbor. Welcome here." And she was a hugger that we learned the very first minute, and her love for animals. I know Tony. I know many of you guys because of her stories. She really welcomed us. She was, as I was saying, the very first neighbor I met in that block, and I second that she would have been the mayor of all of us. And we met Rob, we met the kids. She did something beautiful for us as well when she knew that being my husband Argentinian, we love soccer. And Zach too, and Rob too. She went online and she looked for tickets for the Atlanta United at the Mercedes-Benz and invited us. And it was one of the first outings we had in Atlanta, was sharing with you guys that soccer game. It was super fun. She did that for us. And the other thing is that as I was playing with my stuff from Miami in my backyard, I have 2 flamingos, pink flamingos, of course. Every single Christmas, I've got a little flamingo from her. She took that, like she spotted that from her yard to mine, and she took that for herself, and every Christmas, we have a little flamingo. Even last Christmas, she bought us a flamingo boat ornament for the tree. She was sweet like that. She was, very open to look for the other people, loving everyone, looking for the good in everyone. She was a good friend. She was a great neighbor. We will miss her. We love you guys. We've seen you through this. Probably very little. Only 3 years. We admire you all. And you count on us. You can count on us.
I don't have to worry about the TV. Hi, my name is Melva. Can you hear me? Or, I have a soft voice. I'm sorry, I have a soft voice. A couple years ago, my husband retired, and we decided we're going to see family. And we're going to take our car here and there. We went up to New Jersey, and our next little pilgrimage was to Florida and Georgia to see our family in Orlando and my sister in Tamarack. And then we saw Rob and Tara and Maddie and Zach. And oh my God, did we enjoy our visit. I mean, teenagers don't talk to older people that often. And these two talked, and it made my heart so warm to have teenagers look you in the eye and talk to you. And Rob is always out there. He is just a hugger and a lover and a beautiful, beautiful family. And it made us so warm inside that we had visited Tara, what was it, about a month before she passed. I am so glad I got to see her. We live in Texas, and I don't know, I can't, I'm at loss for words, but I love them so much, the whole family. I love everybody here, and Tara, well, I didn't call too much. I'm not a person that talks much at all to anybody, so, but when I would talk to Tara on the phone, you could just feel the love, and she'd talk about the animals and, of course, the kids, and, you know, there's a saying, only the good die young. I hate sayings because there's always an exception, but God, she was good. And I want to thank everybody for showing up and supporting the family because they're a wonderful family. And may God bless all of you.
I wasn't going that way. Does this thing even work? Is anybody here? Don't you worry, Rob.
It's not that it's on, it's just, it's feeding to the online, to the live stream.
Oh, so at least somebody can hear. Good for them. Well, sorry for the people in the back. I didn't know we were using it for anything, so. Well, since everybody else has talked, I guess I will too. Have you ever seen anybody, this many people talk at a funeral? Has anybody? Not even close. For those that don't know me, my name is Todd. I'm going to grab a tissue just in case.
It's just crumpled up in my hand, calm down. No snot evidence there.
My name is Todd. I've been Rob's best friend since he bummed a cigarette off me in high school. True story. I got to meet Rob and his family, and Rob's always been we've been best friends. He's a great friend of mine. And, when we were going through college, and Rob was kind of striking out on the dating scene a bit, and I wasn't doing that great myself. And I found a woman, my wife Michelle, and Rob wasn't having much luck. And one day I got a call that he'd met a girl. I'm like, all right, you met a girl. Let's see how long this lasts. This is what I know. So we go down to the beach to meet this woman that he has met. And as we parallel park down by it was actually down by Pompano. The car behind me was covered in stickers. Covered. Save the whales. Vegans make better lovers. Animals are friends, not food. I don't know what was on it, but it was covered. So we go meet her. Very nice lady. I can see the way she looks at Rob. I can see the way he looks at her. I'm like, oh, this one might be a little different. Of course, when we go to leave, Tara walks out and gets into that car. That was Tara. She had strong opinions, and she was going to share them with you. You knew where she stood. And I was grateful that I didn't have to go off to college wondering if Rob was ever going to find a girlfriend. Hey, you're welcome, bud. And I know a lot of you ask, why do such good people, have to go through so much suffering? The truth is, Rob needed Tara, and Tara needed Rob. Tara was going to go through this with or without you, bud. She had you. And you were going to date a long line of God knows who. So if I could change it, I wouldn't. Rob wouldn't be the person he is today. Tara wouldn't have had that love in her life, that support. The world wouldn't have Zach and Maddie. That. No. Glad to get to re-meet you, and Maddie, I'm looking forward to meeting you when you're not hanging upside down on my couch. So I just want to say that, Tara really was a great person, and I'm just glad that Rob found her. And, they're going to have to go on without her, but I encourage all of us here, let's reach out to them. Let's keep in touch. They're all going to need our love and support as they go on without Tara. All right. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm Zach's partner, and I just wanted to say something about Miss Tara. I've known her for a couple years now, and from the get-go, she always treated me like one of her own. I saw her as kind of a mother figure. Like a lot of people have said, she was quite an animal lover, as am I, so we bonded over that and playing our little Scrabble games and creating our own rules. It was fun. But she was truly an amazing person, and everyone here has said such beautiful words about her, so I'm so glad that she knows she was loved by everyone here. I love you guys.
Hi, my name is Joel. I'm one of Zach's best friends. I've known him since he came up here from Florida, actually, since second grade, which is insane. Somehow, out of all the friends I've had through elementary school and middle school, you've been the one that's always stuck by me. Always just, we hung out every weekend, played FIFA until like 3 a.m. I used to go through an entire bag of Doritos just...
She'd buy them special
just for, I know, it was... because my mom would just no artificial food coloring, and then Mrs. Howe would always just get all the bags of chips, and she was just so kind to me through all these years, so I've always been thankful, and she's been like a second mom to me. So I've always loved her, and I've loved all of y'all because all of y'all are amazing. And I thank y'all for sticking by my side and just being one of my best friends. So thank you so much.
Well, I really appreciate everyone for coming out and all of the kind words that everyone has said. It has meant the world to all of us. So I truly thank every one of you. I'm going to kind of, I guess, wrap up a little bit. I believe there's refreshments in one of the rooms to the side, if I'm not mistaken. Feel free, talk amongst yourselves. It's exactly what Mom would have wanted. Mom wants everyone to come together, everyone to congregate together. So thank you guys, truly.
Yeah, there's a kitchen in the back right. Please eat it. Thank you again, everyone, for coming. Anybody else wants to say anything else? That's too. You know, it's not just close it down. So you can say something if you want.
Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Richards. I first met Rob in 2014. My family and I moved down from Baltimore. And when I first met him, I didn't meet him at first. There was just an empty chair. And showed up and, oh, you haven't met your neighbor yet. It's Rob. I said, oh, okay, cool. Rob gets in. First thing he says to me is, who are you? Oh, you're the new guy. Okay. And then I got to know Rob. And I love Rob. And then I met Tara for the first time on the phone that night, the first day I met Rob, on speakerphone. And the moment that I heard her speak and that I was with Rob, she wanted to know what the hell I was doing. Who was I? Oh, okay. She was immediately inquisitive and caring, but she was curious, like, who is this with Rob, right? But over time, I got to know her better. I got to know the family better. But one of the kindest things that I remember was, as soon as she found out that night that I had young kids, she immediately went to work at cleaning up some of the kitchen food from the play school play set, And before I know it, I've got clothes and I've got play school toys and I've got little cabinets. I've got all this stuff. And Rob's like, I've got some stuff for you. And I said, okay, you really don't have to do that. And he goes, no, my wife, Tara, she now that she knows you have young kids, she's going to do that. And she's going to make sure everything's clean. And she went through and she cleaned every piece of grapes or pizza or everything from the kitchen set. And I said, she really doesn't have to do that. Just tell her that she doesn't have to do that. He's like, I'm not telling her that. She's going to do it regardless. And I said, my God, the gratitude, because she was so kind. I'd never met her. I only heard her voice. And that day, she knew, like, I've got something for this person that's now a new person in my life, right? And later, I did meet her in person, and she gave me a big warm hug, and we argued about squirrels because I had a squirrel infestation at the time in my attic, and it was the fault that my electricity was faulty that harmed the squirrels and everything, and I told her I'd get an electrician to look at it as soon as I could. But I knew that was one of the things too, that she had such a unique love of animals, and she did. I mean, it was really awe-inspiring, actually, and she loved her family. She loved her kids. Rob would bring in Zach and Maddie to work, and the first time I met Zach, very, very quiet, quiet boy. And then I saw some videos of him playing soccer. And I'm like, man, it's like a different guy. I'm like, who is this kid? He's so calm and collect and, sweet, sweet kid. And he's out there on the soccer field making saves like you wouldn't believe. Unbelievable. Maddie would be in there doing upgrades with us at night. We'd do upgrades, and she'd want to come to work with Rob. Rob worked at night. Well, upgrades usually kick off about midnight. She's in there rebooting systems for us at work. Not even scared to jump in. Like, what's this cable do? Oh, yeah, just chase that cable down and, yep, you got it. Unplug it, plug it back in, hit the power button, plug it back in. No problem. Didn't even question it. Didn't miss a beat. And I can see that soul, that kind soul in Tara, at the core of who they are, her and Rob, made some beautiful children. And it's incredible when you see them come up here and speak so incredibly calm and caring and, endearing to everyone. I mean, not everybody can do that. And it was just really inspiring to see, that the next generation is not lost, everyone, so we got some really good kids. They're really smart. And she would talk about her nieces all the time, and her sister and her brother-in-law and her mother. And I can really see that. This is a very loving family, and I'm just very grateful to be a part of her life. I didn't know her forever or that long, but what I knew was a very loving person who cared about everyone she met, and I'll never forget that. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Glenn Johnson. I'm married into this family. I'm married to Melva. She is the aunt of Tara, Judy's sister. And we've been married close to 36 years, so I've known her a while. First time I remember meeting Tara, they came out to our house. We lived in Arizona at the time, and I think she was 12 or 13 years old. And Lisa was 15 or 16, something like that. And we had a swimming pool. They loved to go swimming in there, and they came out and visited us a couple of times. And we went to first New Jersey, where they were living, and spent some time there, and then later on into Florida. And we always had good times when we visited. And I know Tara called and talked with Melba many times and had long conversations, and always enjoyed having that relationship. Tara is a wonderful, warm person, loved everybody, loved animals, just a very kind person, and it's real sad to see somebody go this early in life. Got 2 wonderful kids, great husband. We did get a chance to see her one last time, which I'm very grateful for. And we didn't know at that time that she was going to go this close, but really glad we got a chance to see her. And we'll miss her and love her and think about her always. And again, we're available if there's anything we can do for the family. We're always there for you.
Hi. For who you don't know me, I'm Parag. I married into the family as well. So I guess one of the biggest things about marrying into the family was being part of Tara's life. So one of the biggest things about
This guy has been as close as any of my blood brothers to me as a brother. Our family. So you talk at whatever level you want.
So that was one of the best things about marrying into the family was being part of Tara and Rob's life and seeing the kids grow up. And one of the saddest days for me was when Rob and Tara moved away to Atlanta. It was difficult. We got to see them like every weekend, and so we lost part of the kid's life growing up. So we would see them, just not as much as we wanted to see them. And it is So I would talk to Tara often. So we'd call and we'd have these just rambling calls. We'd talk about stuff. We'd talk about animals, but most of the times where it came down to was like, all right, well, this is what Zach is doing, this is what Maddie's doing, and we'd just talk about, like, I think we would talk for an hour or so as we were doing things. I think out of that, we wouldn't talk about how we were doing and how things were, but I think out of the hour, over 55 minutes, we're talking about kids, like from one kid to another and how everybody was. So I don't have a lot to say, but all of you kids should know that she was extremely proud of you. I don't think there was anything that you did that she wouldn't tell me about it. And that could be the smallest things too. She took joy in achievements that you guys were doing, and where she knew that you would be successful wherever you are, she had not hopes for a bright future. She knew you would do great things, all of you. She loved all of you, and as I said, I think when we talked, it wasn't talking about us, it was talking about just you. So it was always like, I know I should be talking more to you guys, but I would get all the updates about you and what's going on in your lives and what you're going to do. So I know you do great things. I'm going to be there for you. And you know, I'll always be there.
Second time's a charm. All right. Let's all break for snacks.
And that's a wrap.